Among the Georgian mountains, in a small village nestled between cliffs and mist, lived an old sage named Mahaz. His white beard flowed down to his chest, and his eyes, weathered by countless days, seemed to look right through people. He rarely spoke, but when he did, even the mountains listened. People came from afar, and none ever left without an answer. One spring, as the streams began to sing their bright melodies and the trees dressed themselves in green, 3 men came to see Mahaz. They were neighbors, Jela, Bacho, and Soso. Since childhood, they had shared bread, worked the land, and hiked the mountains together. Jela was the first to speak. "Teacher, tell us, why do some people receive everything, while others are left with barely the sun? Take our friend Temur. He used to be just like us. Now he's wealthy. He bought land, owns a whole flock of sheep, and built a house tall as a prince's tower. We work just as hard. Why has he risen, while we're still where we were?" Bacho added, "We started from the same place, but whenever he shows up, there's fire inside me. It's not joy for his success. It's something darker. What is this feeling, teacher?" Soso simply nodded, eyes lowered. He didn't speak often, but his face carried the weight of the unspoken. Mahaz listened, then rose in silence. He took his staff, threw on his wool cloak, and motioned for them to follow. The men obeyed without question. They knew every step the old man took had meaning. They walked for a long time, climbing steep paths where only goats passed. At last, they reached an old stream winding through stones. "Each of you pick up a stone," Mahaz said. "Not the smallest, but one you can carry." Each chose a heavy rock. Though it strained their backs, none complained. "Now we climb," Mahaz said, and began walking uphill. The slope was steep, backs ached, feet sank into the damp ground. Hour after hour, Bacho's stone slipped from his grasp. He sat down, wiping his brow. "Why are we doing this, teacher?" he asked breathlessly. "What are you trying to show us?" Mahaz turned. "Envy, my children, is like this stone. The first sign of an envious man, he carries a burden he chose himself. No one asked him to. No one forced him. He picked it up, and now he suffers. Not because someone hurt him, but because he's hurting himself." They were silent. The stones lay heavy and cold, but Mahaz's words weighed even more. "Let's keep going," he said. They walked on. The sun climbed higher. The mountains glistened. Somewhere in the distance, sheep bells chimed. A shepherd passed by and greeted them with a smile. Jela looked away. His heart stung. The shepherd had a new saddle and a young horse, and again that strange feeling stirred inside. Mahaz noticed the second sign of envy, one who cannot enjoy his own path. His eyes are always looking for someone who has more. He walks past blooming trees, but doesn't see them. He walks beside friends and feels alone, because envy blinds. It burns away gratitude and leaves only the thirst for comparison. Again, silence. Jela thought deeply. He realized how long it had been since he noticed a sunrise, the laughter of children, or kind words from his wife. Everything seemed dull beside someone else's success. When they reached the peak, Mahaz told them to sit and place their stones before them. He sat across from them, took out bread and cheese, and handed a piece to each. "Eat, you'll need strength, but first, hear the third." They listened closely. The third sign of envy: he doesn't seek his own path to happiness. Instead of asking, "What can I do to become better?" he asks, "Why does he have it, and not me?" An envious man builds nothing. He only tears down, within himself, within others, within relationships. And the longer he carries his stone, the deeper it marks his soul. Bacho, Jella, and Soso lowered their heads. Mahaz's words echoed inside them. They understood. This envy wasn't about Timur, or his house, or his sheep. It was the voice of their own dissatisfaction, their own shadow hiding in someone else's light. "Teacher," Soso asked softly, "can we ever be free of envy? Can we let go of this stone?" Mahaz looked up at the sky. "You can, but not with force. Envy cannot be defeated with fists. It is healed with the heart. Begin by rejoicing in what you do have. Be thankful every day. Stop looking up to those above you and start looking inward at who you were yesterday and who you can become tomorrow." He stood for a moment, then said, "Now, do what your soul desires." They exchanged glances. Then, one by one, with relief, almost joy, they rolled their stones down the mountain slope. The rocks rumbled and vanished into the brush. When the last one disappeared, the three men burst out laughing, like children, pure and real. The sun now stood high in the sky, and for the first time in a long while, they truly felt light. Not because someone else had less, but because they had let go. Many years passed. Timur's house still stood on the hill. His sheep still grazed by the river. But the three neighbors no longer spoke of what others owned. They had learned to cherish their days, their work, and each other. And Mahaz, he disappeared into the mountains, as old sages do. But his words lived on, passed from father to son. Envy is a stone you carry by choice, but only you can decide to hold it or to let it go.